What is going on, everybody?
Hello.
It is Pigs Motors here, and welcome back to Professor Layton versus Phoenix. Right, we left off. We're in the middle of testimonies. Layton's fighting us real hard.
Yeah.
He's defending, but we can do this.
He's not defending.
Well,
we're defending.
He's defending his stances very effectively. We're a bit on the back foot, but the court is going to announce its thoughts on our little back and forth, trying to find out if Darklaw and Kira are relevant to everything going on here. What's your thoughts, Broski?
I must say, what Inquisitor Layton has stated certainly does ring true.
Thank you.
However, Lady Darklaw, I have one question I must ask you. What exactly were you hoping to accomplish here tonight?
I assure you, 'twas not my intent to deceive the good citizens of Labyrinthia. That's rich. However, I must now reveal the truth to you all.
What did she say?
You don't think Lady Darklaw is in league with the witches, do you?
She can't be. She was the one that saw to that other witch's demise.
Lady Darklaw, are you saying that you're...
That's right, my lord. I am a shade.
A shade. Right. I mean, what?
Lady Darklaw, will you please tell the court exactly what you mean when you say shade?
Yes, of course. I grew weary of standing behind this bench. I will tell you all I can.
What the heck is she trying to pull? Oh, I testify about something that could potentially undermine your credibility. Must be the last lash that she has.
Yeah. Whoa. What? What just happened?
That didn't belong there.
That was terrifying.
Huh.
Shades live outside the realm of those who dwell within Labyrinthia. To them, I am known as the Great Vivitch.
I guess Phoenix is simping for her too and just keeps seeing whatever her name was.
Those that are put to the flames in the witch trials become shades who live their lives in the woods. We exist to carry out tasks given to us by our mistress, the Great Vivitch herself. I am not a witch, nor am I a wandering spirit.
What on earth? Hi, Inquisitor Darklaw.
When were you put to the flames?
Do you mean to say that not only are you a witch, but you're the Great Vivitch?
Unbelievable. Lady Darklaw is the Great Vivitch.
The Great Vivitch? Doesn't that mean she's Bezella?
That's right. Lady Darklaw is Bezella.
We don't know her first name.
I do hope you have not forgotten what we established only moments ago. It is not possible for Miss Darklaw to be Bezella.
But Inquisitor Layton, surely the testimony just now proves it.
I am afraid that in the heat of such revelations, you've almost heard the information.
Tastes pointless. This is the extent of what the people of this town will believe.
I believe the truth will become clear during our cross-examination. Don't you agree, Mr. Wright? Huh? I don't know what to think anymore.
He's playing mind games.
Defender, you may begin your interrogation.
Well, we also know that from our trip, well, at least Layton knows from his trip inside the temple, that the Great Vivitch and Bezella are technically two different people/entities. Remember?
Huh?
When Layton and Maya were in the temple and they got in that room and they started hearing the Great Vivitch speak to them.
Yeah.
And was saying that I and Bezella are not the same. Like, it's two different people. And we were just like, wait. Remember the whole joke of like, so wait, who the fuck is the actual Vivitch? Are we using our joke wrong? I thought we had the noun right.
Yeah.
So that might be what we're getting at here. Is that she might be...
Why is that there again?
Dude.
The game's broken.
Doesn't like this part, but we're back to normal. They gave us our buttons. To them, I am known as the Great Vivitch.
Hold it!
Let's talk about them. And that Great Vivitch? Or is it witch? I don't know anymore at this point.
Yes, that's right. However, I am not Bazella. The mistress to those who dwell in the Eldritch Woods is dubbed the Great Vivitch. Even if I wanted to be Bazella, I couldn't. As the ever so charming Inquisitor stated earlier, I cannot use magic.
Miss Darklaw, I have one question. What do you mean by live outside the realm?
I mean just that, Inquisitor. We truly do live in a realm separate from this town. Now surely one as intelligent as yourself has worked out the answer by now, no?
Perhaps. That remains to be seen, Miss Darklaw.
Regardless, 'tis something we cannot discuss with anyone. But it is something that the defense should be able to prove.
Huh? Oh, it sounds like a challenge. By the way, Miss Darklaw, since you're not actually a witch, why do you continue to be called that?
To answer that, I must first discuss the true identity of the Shades. Good thing I read the rest of the sentence before you clicked next.
Sorry, but everyone's supposed to flames become a shade living in the woods. Except for Maya over here. I mean, what? So you're saying that the Kira here right now is a shade version of the Kira from before?
Indeed, Defender. The girl has no recollection of her life prior to living in those woods.
But what manner of witchery is this? Why? This girl, Kira the Flower Seller, was cast straight to the flames before our very eyes.
That's right, Your Honor, but as you can see, she didn't die. You see, there's actually a trick to the incineration device in the Witch's Court.
A trick?
Once the verdict has been delivered...
Can you say this, Phoenix?
The court attendants move the steel cage into position, after which it seals shut. He's saying it anyways.
Yeah.
About to break this entire town's brain about everything they thought they knew.
That makes sense why it's like completely sealed.
Yeah.
So they can't get hurt.
Yeah. Then the cages drop down into a pit of fire. The bottom of the cage then opens, allowing the witch inside to escape unharmed into an underground passage.
If what you're saying is true, Defender, then what is this town's witch purging history? What's been the purpose of all this?
You've been building an army, actually.
You and the knights have indeed been ridding Labyrinthia of the witches. However, nary a single life has been taken in the process. That is the reality.
What the fuck?
But you cannot truly expect me to believe such a ridiculous notion.
Huh?
I don't know why I'm thinking Luke.
Same.
It's no, you know what? Maya probably took off her disguise.
Your Honor, It's true! Take a good hard look. Doesn't get any more alive than this.
It's you. I am May.
Close enough, Your Honor.
Well, it's actually Maya Fey, your forgetfulness.
What the heck are you doing? Everyone's gonna recognize you.
Yeah, so Kira's there. Yeah, but seeing is believing, Nick. Now they have to believe you. Do you see? Are you satisfied? All those found guilty in the witch trials lose their names, magic, and memory.
Not this one.
They are then sent to spend their lives as shades in the Eldritch Woods. And the mistress of those shades is the Great Vivitch. As you can see, this girl too has become a shade.
I have no more words to express my utter disbelief at this situation.
I'm sure.
I've seen so many young women die.
Yeah, it's awkward.
That's enough. Shall we return to the testimony?
Why do I have the feeling things are going to get a lot worse?
Why is she smirking?
Exists to carry out task environmenters, the Great Vivitch yourself. These tasks you mentioned, were you acting them this evening?
Yes, I was told to come here and become Bazella.
Oh, wait just a moment, witness. Did you just say become Brazilla?
How absolutely dreadful.
Why would anyone be given such a terrible task?
Where have these shades come from? The woods.
Yeah.
Order! Order!
I'm sorry. I don't know why I was given such a task. All I can do is follow the orders I am given. If I can do that, then I can return.
But what do you mean you can return?
Such is the nature of the shades. Neither human nor witch. Theirs is an existence spent in the shadows.
Yes.
Each of the shades is given specific tasks. Then, upon successful completing such tasks, they are allowed to return to Labyrinthia as brand new people.
But Lady Darklaw, how can they return as brand new citizens? When we already know who they were. For instance, we all recognize the former flower seller standing before us.
Is this some reincarnation shit?
Now that, my lord, remains a secret. But a secret you will come to understand sooner rather than later.
What does that mean? Simply baffling.
Weird.
The one who gives us our tasks is the Great Vivitch. That would be you, Lady Darklaw. Oh magnificent one.
I wonder if, like, the identity of a lot of these people in the... Because this is all supposed to take place in that book is, like, fake. And so they're given, like, an entire new person in the book?
Huh?
If that makes sense?
No. What do you mean?
Like, they become a different character. I don't know if it has anything to do with people coming in and out of this fucking place, but... It's weird.
Oh, this explanation is wrought with much I cannot comprehend. I request the witness add it to their testimony.
Okay.
Okay.
That's what I said. Okay.
Besides with our tasks. She was the Great Vivitch.
Hold it!
Alright, so about these tasks, can you give us any other examples?
A shade's task must never be discussed with others, no matter what.
She says that even though she just finished telling us about her secret task.
Yeah.
Incidentally, do you perhaps remember when you arrived back in town to carry out your orders?
Well, not really. My memory is still a little fuzzy. Hey, didn't Kira only just recently become one of those shade thingies? Still, I failed in my task tonight.
Come to think of it, when Luke and I had our little run-in with Kira, I remember being blown clear across the marketplace.
Yeah.
But I never saw any explosives or gunpowder.
Maybe. Kira was given the task of blowing you to smithereens, Nick!
And we're done. Getting back to this testimony.
Hey!
Sure, there's something here that just doesn't add up. Not a one. Not a witch nor a wandering spirit. You really don't have any recollection of your old flower-selling self, do you?
I don't. When a witch becomes a shade, they lose all memory of their past life.
That they lose their memories? But why?
And yet you still have some grasp of the concept of magic, do you not, witness?
Let me spell it out for you. Magic does not exist in the Eldritch Woods. Oh, but there are actually lots of things back in the forest I have not seen in this town.
There are things there that you haven't seen here?
Like really huge machines that sort of like that machines
That sort of thing.
That sort of thing. There's one that spits out fire with such amazing speed, and then it expels these huge plumes of grey smoke.
A machine that spits fire? Never have I heard of such a thing. Are you certain these machines of which you speak are not simply magic?
You know, now that you mention it, I don't think anyone from this town can actually see those of us from the forest.
That they can't see you? Could it be something like that robe?
How can such a thing even be possible without magic?
Objection.
Miss Darklaw, if I may interrupt for just a moment.
What is it, Inquisitor Layton?
That's a weird one. For your testimony just now, we have all come to understand the process of how one becomes a shade. However, I was hoping you could perhaps elaborate on one additional point. Namely, what exactly is the purpose behind the shades?
If you wish to know our purpose, there are certain other things you must first understand. Once you've done that, the answer should be quite clear. Isn't that right, Defender?
Huh? The purpose behind the shades?
Rest assured, you will not get the answer from me. As the saying goes, the witch is in your court, Defender.
I've never heard that before in my life. Sounds like Darklaw's challenging me to figure this out.
Court of law.
Challenge accepted.
Witch's court.
Oh,
What?
that's it for her testimony, I guess. I didn't.
But
I didn't push the last one, but
What you thinking, Nick?
I'm thinking there's something really weird going on with Darklaw.
Really? Do tell.
I mean, just listen to her testimony. She's more than willing to elaborate on some potentially incriminating information.
I see your point.
The one really trying to put an end to the story could be Darklaw herself.
I guess, but still.
Huh?
Remember, Nick, we're here to save Espella. So let's squeeze every last bit of information we can out of Darklaw and clear Espella's name!
You know, you could be onto something. Try to get as much information as possible for the time being.
In other words, it's saying, hey, press that.
Yeah, I thought it was doing a loop with Layton's thing, but I need to press this one. One true purpose.
Hold it!
Let's talk about it. Miss Darklaw, what is the purpose of the shades?
As Mistress of the Shades, I cannot disclose the purpose of their existence.
Well then, since Miss Darklaw is unable to tell us herself, it seems we must rely on evidence instead.
Evidence, huh?
I do believe the shades could have something to do with that which exists in this town but ought to not to.
What? Something that exists, but shouldn't.
Huh?
Well, Defender, are you prepared to present evidence?
The bell tower!
We don't have that as evidence. Well, we have the bell tower plan.
A sketch of the entire bell tower obtained from the vigilantes.
I guess we could run that.
Because remember, it appeared.
Yeah? I was born ready, Your Honor.
Oh my god. That was so lame.
Something that exists in this town but shouldn't.
The bell tower.
I think I know what you're getting at, Professor. It's the only thing that it can be.
Defender, please present your evidence.
Because we haven't used
Yes,
that
Your
sketch
Honor.
yet, either.
We did use it once.
We did?
We did use it once, because we had to prove the top
The
floor,
purpose
but
of this... That's you.
the purpose of the shades could be to make sure this particular thing exists in Labyrinthia. To make sure the bell tower exists in Labyrinthia?
Do you want to use the hint just in case?
Well, I mean, going through anything else, it's
Because
for
it
the
could be the
contraption.
contraption.
No, that wouldn't make sense, because that's just the, that's just what creates the stairway to get to the top.
Part of the bell tower, though.
That is true. But we can take the hit. Let's go with the bell tower.
Take that!
It's not the bell tower plan. Well, how about this?
This is why he said... We can't hit...
all
Defender,
right.
just the other day, you found yourself caught up in a nasty little explosion in the marketplace, did you not?
Yes, that's right.
Well then, the Shade's goal should be rather simple to work out. It was to rid Labyrinthia of useless, time-wasting defenders and ridiculous blue outfits.
That was cold-blooded.
There's but one thing these shades must ensure exists in this world, Mr. Wright. There are many potential answers of which any will do.
I found out what it was after she was saying it.
Shall I quote one of these answers? Perhaps it would be in your best interest not to anger the witness with an irrelevant answer for a second time, Mr. Wright.
I know what the game's talking about now. Defense, please have another chance to think this through, Your Honor.
Lady Darklaw, please give your testimony to the court one more time.
Of course,
But I have
my
to
lord.
press it. Oh, God. Hang on. All right. So, as I spam through this, do you know what the answer is now?
No, I would have to look at stuff.
Something that exists that shouldn't.
Magic?
Yes.
I mean, I had that thought already, but I'm like, we don't have anything to...
We present any of the spells from the Grand Grimoire. And that's what Layton was saying. You have many answers that you can potentially put forward.
Oh.
Any of them will do. Because magic does not exist. Let's just throw in the classic one. The OG. Where's I can just push the tab.
Goldor.
Not Gold. Just for Layton. Just for Layton, we'll do Goldor.
Take that!
Something that doesn't exist. I have a feeling no one is going to like the answer I'm about to give, and I'll probably end up shaking this town to its core. But I've got to tell them. The truth has to come out. Since I arrived here in Labyrinthia, there's been no shortage of really strange events. Ignace, Demir, Godor, Goldor, and now Grandworm.
The mere command of magic is in itself a crime, is it not?
In this town, witches are arrested and made to participate in witch trials. They're then sentenced to death by fire. But none of those witches actually died. That supposed death by fire wasn't real. And
Neither is magic.
neither is magic. It doesn't really exist.
What are you saying, Defender?
You've been doing this shit for no reason. The Eldritch Woods apparently contain some rather large machines unlike anything that exists within Labyrinthia. Machines that emit fire and produce large plumes of smoke. To top it all off, the citizens of Labyrinthia are not able to see said machines.
Sounds like nothing more than magic.
Yes, that's exactly it, Your Honor. Miss Darklaw,
But then what about Professor Layton getting turned into gold?
magic doesn't really exist in this town. That's the answer, isn't it?
But magic does not... What utter nonsense!
It seems we have finally arrived at the stunning conclusion. The secret behind Labyrinthia.
What?
Oh boy.
What?
He's like, I think I just shit myself
His
on the
mind
bench.
is being blown.
Everyone's is being blown.
Order, I say! What is the meaning of this?
Listen, calm down, but it means that all the magic you've
My
seen
life
in this
is
town
a lie!
was nothing more than an illusion created and put into motion by the shades.
But Defender, the witches, we've clearly seen them use magic.
It's a lot to take in here. Let's take a moment to think carefully about the systems employed by the Shades.
Systems?
he's
What
like,
is essential
what?
in order for a witch to use magic?
Which must possess a Talia Magica and must say an incantation in order to cast a spell.
The spells able to be cast are determined by the scepter's magic gems. Now, what do you think is the purpose placing such requirements on the use of magic?
A chemical reaction?
But what do you mean, purpose?
These requirements are not there to allow the user to cast magic. Rather, reality is they are there to inform the Shades of who should be using magic.
But
It is possible that witches were always being closely observed by Shades. That's why they donned these robes, to appear hidden until they were needed to create magic.
Create?
Indeed, there are all kinds of spells within this tome. It would be quite troublesome if they were simply allowed to use any spell at will.
Yeah, wouldn't make the Shades' job that much more difficult, for sure.
Precisely so. That's why it was imperative that a certain restriction be placed on the use of magic.
You're referring to the Talia Magica, right, Professor?
Of course. No wonder the scepter could only contain 2 magic gems.
Then there's the incantation. What would happen if a witch could simply whisper the incantation quietly to herself, not even say it at all?
boy, that'd be so cool. I'd be casting spells all day long. No one would ever see it coming.
You'll run out of spell slots eventually, don't worry. Maya, we spent an entire trial proving that you weren't a witch, remember? If the witches didn't give some sort of signal,
Girl can dream.
then there would be no way for the shades to know when to cast the spell.
Right you are, Mr. Wright. Incantations were a way of telling the shades when the witch was ready to use magic.
What on earth? Never did I think these requirements could have such a purpose.
It's like a secret code.
Now let's think back to the previous events leading up to today that involved magic. I first got it with magic was the use of the spell Ignaze a few nights ago.
God, that was only a few nights ago in
Now,
this world.
I'm trying to remember because when I have my thoughts, I don't know if I say them in the time or not.
That
But
was only a few. It seems like at least a couple weeks has passed.
just because it's been a couple weeks for us.
No, I mean like in
I know.
game it seems
This
that
has
way.
all been back to back to back.
God.
But I remember in the cutscene there was that flash on the ground before the flame actually happened. I don't know if you remember that. Like something being dropped.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, maybe someone lit up like some gasoline on the floor. But I think after the explosion in the town happened, I was starting to think, are they using stones to create magic? Like little things there? Which I think is actually the case.
Little things?
Because, you know, like, that's exactly what Kira did in the town square, is threw a stone down, which then created that explosion in the marketplace.
What do you mean by little things?
Like, little tiny stones, you throw them and they go boom.
A spell like this.
Like firecrackers?
A very big firecracker.
Was nothing more than a flame spewed from a machine being used by the shades.
And that means Demir.
A spell that makes the caster disappear? No doubt
They
about
just
it.
throw an invisibility
Must
cloak
have been
on
this
them.
robe.
Yeah.
Next season with Goldor, the spell that transmuted me into a gold statue.
How? Explain that one.
Well, I understand this may sound a bit absurd, I can only surmise. But the shades created a gold statue in my image, took me and left it in my place. The instant the incantation was uttered.
But in that pose?
Professor, it's no more absurd than anything else that's happened so far.
We can therefore conclude that all of the magic labyrinth was created in a similar vein. What do you say to that, Miss Darklaw?
Well, then where did you go? Did they, like, put an invisibility cloak on him and knock him out?
Probably. But then the other question is, how do you make an invisibility robe without magic? Like, this is some Harry Potter shit, but let's keep it going.
Yeah, like... It's made of tiny, tiny mirrors. I'd expect nothing less from you, Inquisitor Layton. At any given time, there were between 5 and 10 witches in town. All of the witches were accompanied by shades at all times. It was easier than you would think. You see, the shades living in the Eldritch Woods total in the hundreds. It was simply a matter of having each of the shades operate in shifts, in order to watch over the witches within the town.
I must say, Lady Darklaw, there's quite a number of shades.
It was not only those who fell victim to the flames that were turned into shades, but their victims too were made permanent residents of the Eldritch Woods.
Huh.
Then, those two shady thieves from before were turned into shades? So they're like extra shady now? Oh yes, you mean Robs and Mugs. Despite their dubious appearance, those two are a couple of my best shades.
Shady thieves turned into shades. This stuff writes itself.
Cannot believe what I have heard. I need to lay down.
I need to go.
However, there is still one thing I do not understand just yet.
And what would that be?
As has just been explained, we have established that there is no possibility of magic being real. But replacing me with a gold statue to give the illusion of transmutation, for example, well, it sounds simple enough. I myself, and presumably also Miss Faye, have no recollection of this replacement actually taking place.
Hey, that's right! The professor got all blingy before I could even bat an eye.
It begs the question, how and when was that statue created, let alone used to replace me?
But that is true.
Same goes for Goldor. It's supposed to create a portal between two green-colored walls.
Perhaps that is exactly why this spell can only work on green walls, Mr. Wright.
Still, it'd be impossible for the shades to get those portals ready so quickly.
I agree. If you take a moment to think, you can see that all of these spells have one strange thing in common.
A thing in common?
Yes, indeed. Almost as if some time between the start of the end of the incident was unaccounted for. Furthermore, any memory I might have had regarding this incident seemed to have simply disappeared in the process.
I've got it! Nick! It's just like what happened to Kira. She's got absolutely no memory of her life in Labyrinthia before the trial, right? Yes, I do not remember this Kira you speak of. And, oh yeah, when you really think about it, doesn't it seem super weird how the Shades are able to return to town if they complete their tasks?
You're right, Maya. I mean, the townsfolk are bound to remember some things about them, right? Like how Miss Kira here threw a major hissy fit in court and was barbecued for being a witch?
Oh my god!
Well, eloquently put, Mr. Wright. Jesus Christ. Hence, we cannot yet conclude that this entire illusion was primarily accomplished through the use of machinery. Simply put, there must have been some way of affecting the memories of all those within the confines of this town.
Mass hypnosis. Missing time and lost memories. Now that is interesting, Inquisitor. You are correct. There is in fact a secret that lies within the depths of the Eldritch Woods. Something that the people of this town cannot see. Something that can rob people of their time and memories. It is the very thing that connects all of what you have heard tonight. It is a secret of monumental proportions.
It's a bell of memory loss.
Because remember, like, Phoenix and Maya thought they had been working in there for, like, what, 7 years or something like that in the bakery?
And, well, let me guess.
And had no memory of their previous lives?
Yeah, 'tis a secret that cannot be revealed by the mistress of the Eldritch Woods. Is that right?
Yes. An excellent deduction, Defender. Everyone's paranoid now.
Witches, souls wander astray within the Eldritch Woods. Until tonight, I thought this nothing but a mere fairy tale told to children. It had become clear that a seemingly large organization lies within that forest.
The Witch's Court is the... what?
Border.
Okay, that's what I thought it said. Is the border between this world and the other world.
Then that means in this world, the Labyrinthia's High Inquisitor, while also being mistress of the Shades in the other world. Otherwise known as the Great Vivitch.
May I intervene for just a moment, Mr. Wright?
Sure, I've got nothing.
In all honesty, there's still something that sticks out as a little odd, particularly in Miss Darklaw's previous testimony.
Did you just say the previous testimony?
I'd already pushed that out of my head. There was one vital truth that we managed to take away from that testimony.
You mean that magic does not truly exist in Labyrinthia? Indeed, quite the vital, albeit shocking truth.
However, there is one more truth hidden within that same testimony.
There's something else in that testimony? I must check the court record more times than I can count, but I didn't find any other contradiction.
Have you forgotten already, Mr. Wright? When there's no evidence left, we have but one more weapon at our disposal with which to uncover the truth.
Oh, hey, I've got it, Nick! Remember, in a witch trial, you can cross-examine 2 witnesses at the same time.
Hey, that's right, I completely forgot. Being able to have a look at 2 testimonies side by side is bound to turn up a contradiction somewhere.
And that contradiction should provide us with a much-needed clue. Oh.
I'm not entirely sure where the professor is going with this, but
He's got his own plan.
I believe in his judgment. Besides, if we're going to blow this case wide open, it's got to be worth a shot.
Very well, we will now take a closer look at Lady Darklaw's previous testimony.
This is it. Darklaw's previous testimony. There's a glaring contradiction between this piece of testimony and the others. Ready yourself, Mr. Wright.
Time for me to say everything else that I've said before.
Alright, so to contradict this statement of shades live outside of the realm of those who dwell into them, I'm known as the Great Bewitch. Those who are put to the flames in the witch trials become shades, live in the woods. Darklaw, our venerable mistress, she assigns us our task. She was the Great Bewitch.
Okay.
I am not a witch, nor am I a wandering spirit. There is but one true purpose to the shades that dwell within the Eldritch Woods. Nothing stands out to me on any of these fronts.
Something tells me it's gonna have to be one of Kira's. Because they're like, oh, there's two witnesses.
There's something that I want to point out on this, and I think this is the important part. And it's a very particular thing. You don't want to look at the nouns. You don't want to look at Darklaw.
Is it saying she
Great
was?
Twice.
Yeah.
Says Darklaw was our venerable mistress.
Because she's saying
she was.
Because Darklaw's saying I am known as.
Yes.
And she was, and Kira's saying was.
Yes, and it made the point of saying it twice to say that wasn't a mistake. Kira used past tense.
Was our mistress, was the Great Bewitch. And she's saying am. Yep. Whoa!
Hey, we're side by side. I don't know how we got over here, but and now I'm back.
The teleportation magic is real.
Your Honor, there's obviously a huge discrepancy between these two pieces of testimony. Miss Darklaw stated that she is known as the Great Bewitch. However, according to Miss Kira's testimony, Miss Darklaw was her venerable mistress, the Great Bewitch. That is correct. She was the Great Bewitch. Note Miss Kira use of the past tense.
Past tense? I'm afraid my grammar's not quite what it used to be. May I ask what you mean?
It's simple. Miss Darklaw was mistress to the Shades, or as they also called her, the Great Bewitch. Therefore, she is no longer the Great Bewitch.
She is not the Great Bewitch? Witness, is this true?
Huh? I...
Oops.
It is as you have heard, my lord.
What? What?
I relinquished my position as Great Bewitch in order to fulfill the objective of this task.
What would that objective be again?
To protect the storyteller? That would be the assassination of the storyteller, Your Honor.
The opposite of what you said.
Witness, at the beginning of this trial, you stated that you came to town in order to complete your task, didn't you? What's more, you said that you were going to summon the fire dragon to do it. Now, this task, it wasn't Miss Darklaw here that gave it to you, was it?
No, it wasn't.
So then the most pressing question is, who was it that gave you that task? Who told you to come to Labyrinthia and assassinate the storyteller?
Was it the storyteller himself? I cannot tell you, no matter what.
Alright, so Darklaw isn't the Great Bewitch anymore. Which must mean the mastermind behind this entire thing is...
Just look at that smile.
It would seem the defense has worked it out well. Worked it out as well. That's right, you know who really gave Miss Kira a test tonight, do you not?
Defender, I ask that you enlighten the court. Show us who really gave this witness her task to assassinate the storyteller.
I mean, considering how the storyteller's still alive...
I have a bold move.
Because he's the one that wrote the story, remember? Saying that he was going to be killed?
Yeah.
And kind of like before, I was like, a witch is gonna attack two people. That's kind of like an order too.
I have an idea.
What?
It's crazy. So crazy it just might work.
Are you gonna pick the cat? Are you seriously picking the cat right now? What?
Ooh, I'm tempted. Ooh.
I don't think it's Eve.
Take that!
Please.
No, it's not.
Damn it. I wanted it
Why
so
the
bad.
fuck would it be Eve?
I don't know, but that would have been so fucking funny.
As usual, Defender, the only thing I see you pointing out is your innate ability to correctly point things out. Inability.
What?
Defender, pray this mysterious mastermind gets their hands on you before I do.
Oh, God.
That wasn't even worth it.
Boy, she really doesn't like me.
That wasn't even... He's like, what the fuck?
It pains me to say this, but it seems as if I might have overestimated you. Now then, please endeavor to make your point clearly this time, Mr. Wright.
Sure thing, Professor. Could you not just... Oh, I don't know. Give me the answer.
Did you... You know... Whoever replaced Darklaw has to be someone pretty high up on the food chain, don't you think, Nick?
Yes, I know. Someone high up, huh? Like in a tower? Maybe? I don't know.
Defender, I ask that you enlighten the court. Tell us your
Please reload.
Well, I will, because we're gonna do this next time.
Please tell me that wasn't a legitimate guess.
I actually was really hoping that would be it.
Hoping or actually being like, yeah, this is totally the right
No,
answer.
my brain was only like 20% on Eve, but that 20% was just crazy enough I had to go for it.
And there wasn't even a specialized response to it being Eve that you chose.
But if it was, would have
But you
torn
know
the
it's
fucking place.
not. It's the storyteller. Like
didn't know anything.
I said.
You never know.
Evan, please be smart like you normally are, like you're supposed to be. Just
That's debatable.
you're not wrong.